Is heaven real? That's the question that a new film, Heaven is for Real, looks to explore. It's based off a book with the same title about a 4-year-old who envisioned he briefly visited heaven. But critics are questioning if the film is even about faith at all. We're going to discuss that in a moment. First, here's a preview of the movie.
Mommy?
Yes, Colton?
Did you know I have a sister?
You didn't know that Cassie's your sister?
No, I have 2 sisters. You had a baby die in your tummy, didn't you?
Honey, who told you I had a baby die in my tummy?
In heaven, this little girl came up to me. She told me she died in your tummy.
We need to get him in surgery right away.
The pain that I suffered watching my son that close to death.
We're in trouble here. He's much worse. Will you call some friends and pray for him?
The hospital staff said that your son was not expected to survive. Used the word miracle.
Your son had a near-death experience.
He saw things that I can't really explain.
I lifted up and I looked down. Mom was in one room, you were in another room yelling at God.
It is a powerful trailer. Heaven is for Real has struck a chord with middle American audiences. The movie cost just $12 million to produce and it's already grossed $30 million at the box office. But it stirred up some debate. And here to discuss that, Deseret News writer Herb Scribner. You have seen the movie.
I have seen the movie.
What did you think?
You know, it was actually a really interesting film. It's one that believers and non-believers can both enjoy. Greg Kinnear does a great job in the movie, and you know, you identify with these characters,
Sure.
and it's a really great movie. It's a really good movie.
I think anybody that's had somebody die in their family or a loved one is drawn into this storyline. As I saw the trailer for the first time at the theater, I thought, whoa, this is interesting that Hollywood's going there.
Right.
Why do critics say Hollywood didn't go far enough as far as the religious theme?
Yeah, I think part of it is because they kind of, there's these two sides of what heaven is. That's really the big question here. You know, is it a concept, you know, in heaven as it is on earth? So is heaven this, you know, when your baby's born or these kind of things?
Right.
Or is heaven an actual place? And these are two ideas that kind of come up in this film, but neither is fully explored. They're both kind of mentioned, they're both, you know, touched on, but the film ends up being more about what happens when your beliefs are kind of confirmed and how your family kind of reacts to that.
And then how the community reacts to something that they can't quite explain?
Right, exactly. They are all believers in heaven. They all believe in heaven in the movie. It's a small Nebraskan town, and they have this idea that heaven is a real thing, but they're never given the confirmation until now, so they do react.
Do you think it leaves people asking questions afterwards, like, you know, hey, maybe I should look into this? Or is it a thought-provoking thing? When you left the theater, were you thinking about this kind of stuff?
Oh, totally. Totally a thought-provoking film, and that's one of the reasons I think this is a film people should see, because it's not just mind-numbing entertainment. It's something you can, you know, afterwards you're looking internally to see what you believe in, or even thinking, how would my, you know, family react to this kind of situation? And to me, that was probably the best part of the film, is the leaving and having these thoughts afterwards.
You giving it a thumbs up?
Oh, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. 3 if I had an extra hand.
3 thumbs. All right. I'm going to go see it because you've given it 3 thumbs up.
I'm glad to hear.
Herb Scribner, the Deseret News. Thank you.
Hey, anytime.
Appreciate your insight. Herb compiles faith and family-centered news from across the web, and you can find his articles in the Pulse section of the Deseret News National Edition. Now back to the commandments. Honoring parents as life winds down is a challenge many adult children face. They wrestle with which promises to keep and when it's okay and even necessary to break them. Deseret News writer Lois Collins explains with a look at the 5th commandment.
I think that honoring your father and your mother can mean different things at different stages, but one of the trickiest periods of your life comes when they're old, and you have to make decisions about what it means to honor them, and that doesn't necessarily mean obeying them. If my dad says that he doesn't want to give up the car keys, that he's perfectly fine doing his grocery shopping on a Saturday afternoon and there's not a lot of traffic, and you know that his eyesight is failing and that he doesn't drive very well anymore, you have to make a decision about whether you're going to get involved in something that maybe doesn't honor his wishes. It's not clear-cut at the end of life. Your dad says he doesn't want treatment and you're not ready to let him go, and you want him to fight, but he's tired and he doesn't want to fight, then you've got a clash of wishes, and you have to figure out how best to negotiate that. Every family has a different set of circumstances where they have to figure out how honoring wishes plays out, and it's vitally important.
Lois Collins there. You can read the rest of the 10 Today series on national.deseretnews.com. Next, the power and influence of a mother. Football star Kyle Van Noy says he is living proof that mom knows best. His story straight ahead on the Deseret News National Edition.